Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the New York Empoleon's Week 9 team builder of the CGT. We are here this week taking on Wolfer Wolf, coach of the Trostu Garados. And, oh boy, this is going to be the final team builder of the season. Unfortunately, this has been a very rough season for me. The first time I'm missing playoffs in Gen 8 Wi-Fi, I think. Which is tough to, like, you know, it's a lot to take in right there. But obviously, this has been a fun season. A number of coaches have told me that my battles versus them have been their favorites, which usually won. But it also means that I gave them a very good run for their money. So I'll take that. I don't think I did my full intro. But, you know, I'm not going to be able to get the energy on that same bit again. So taking on Wolfer Wolf, coach of the Trostu Garados. Link is in the description below. If you have not checked it out before, go do so. And you can do all the other coaches, all the coaches who are making playoffs, especially. Congratulations to them. But the reason that I am bringing the team I'm bringing, because Wolf has not clinched spot. And there are players who are still alive pending the outcome of this battle. So I'm certainly not about to meme or throw or not take it seriously, because that would be disingenuous to the rest of the league. I don't think it's fair. While there have been battles that I've lost them while trying to do what I thought was best. And I think it'd be unfair if everyone had to play 9 matches against some of the hardest opponents in the entire community, and Wolf only had to play 8 and got 1. Right, so I'm not going to give him the free win. If he destroys me, well, that's just destroyed me. That's just fine. But I'm bringing a team that I think has the best chance to win, and I'm going to give it everything I've got. What you should be watching out for in this battle is that even if I lose, if I bring it to a 1-0 or a 2-0 loss, so I'm told, Wolf misses playoff. So he's going to be not only trying to beat me, but he has to beat me with a good differential. And I am going to certainly give him everything I've got to give. I'm not going to walk away from this battle. I'm not going to take it easy. I'm not going to roll over and take it. This is going to be a fight. It's going to be a grind. It's going to be a brutal battle, I think, between the two of us, because our teams are both heavy hitters, strong threats abound. So his team is Tauros, Salamence, Single Strike, Urshifu, Arcanine, Orbeetle, Nidoqueen, Serena, Vaporeon, Magnezone, Wartortle, Harbink, Ditto. And obviously, it's those top few that I'm very scared of. They're fast offensive threats. Then he's got the Bulk in the middle. And then at the Ditto. You can never build a team and ignore Ditto. You have to be worried about that thing. So, Nidoqueen is also one of the biggest threats to my roster. We did see a few weeks back that Whirlipede is like a really, really good Nidoking answer and would do the same against Nidoqueen. It sucks. So, fortunately, Whirlipede is on the bench for this week. The first mon we're going to be bringing here is the Torkoal. This is actually, in my opinion, the weakest member of my team in terms of what it offers to as a mon. It is Boots, Spin, gets rid of T-Spikes from Nidoqueen, Rocks from Nidoqueen that gets set up, or Webs from Orbeetle or something like that. Why that just did that, but here now, not gonna, whatever. So I have Rocks of my own. If I can get them up, that'd be great. They are not something I am like, who must get up, you know, turn 1 or anything like that. This is here for pivoting and sun support. And I think that this thing is, its matchup here was mediocre at best. But Helios' matchup here, sorry, I should have done that in the moment, Helios' matchup here is amazing. And I really wanted solar power, and let me just verify, because I've been wrong before. Yeah, we are solar power. We're good. So I really want a Helios here, and I am choice specs. I am clicking Hyper Voice 90% of the time. In Sun, Hyper Voice 2-hit KOs Magnezone is 1 real resist to it. It OHKOs Nidoqueen, which certainly doesn't want to come in. Outside of Sun, Surf OHKOs Nidoqueen, So even if he tries to bring that in outside of Sun, this thing is still doing a ton of damage. Weather Ball's the last move I put on. I don't know. It gives me a way to Oko Magnezone if it's something I'm like truly worried about, or Serena potentially. But more than likely, this thing clicks Hyper Voice all the time, Volt Switch some of the time, and Surf one of the time. And I didn't really care with the last move because the only time I click Surf is if I'm predicting Nidoqueen to come in and Sun isn't up. If Sun is up, I'm probably clicking Hyper Voice and getting a kill. This thing is so strong this week, and if I don't want to predict with the Hyper Voice, or I don't think Nidoqueen's coming in or whatever, I can just Volt Switch and get big damage off on something and preserve this for later. It's got a great speed here in this matchup. I just think that this thing does so much work in Sun that Torkoal is worth bringing another slot. Torkoal gave me removal, it gave me rocks and stuff, but more than anything, it gave me Sun for the Helios. That was everything I could have asked. Next up is Zygarde. This is going to be a bit of a weird Zygarde this week. It's going to be Core Enforcer, Earth Power, Toxic, Protect. I still am not sure if Protect is better than Substitute here. Substitute obviously would prevent the Ditto from becoming Zygarde. I'm not going with a setup Zygarde, even though offensive setup Zygarde would be pretty solid here. Ditto exists, and therefore I'm worried about it. Vaporeon walls most Zygarde sets, so I just didn't want to just hand then, a free switch into Vaporeon and not have anything for it. And so I figured Toxic is going to be really helpful in the matchup, just because it gets me through things like Intimidate Arcanine, Vaporeon, the Ditto potentially coming in and becoming a Zygarde. So the other thing about being special with no special attack investment does let me bring in some of my other threats that are more specially defensive, that can then take advantage of something like Ditto becoming this exact set of Zygarde. It can't do anything. Protect helps me just scout out what the Ditto is going to lock itself into, and play around it a little bit better. If it's locking itself into Toxic, maybe I go to something like Torkoal that I don't need to be healthy for the match, as opposed to something like one of my defensive stalwarts that I really want to make sure remain healthy. Whereas if it goes for like Core Enforcer, then I can go out in Sylveon. That's not myself. Dang it! I was hoping that was next. I forgot which one. Anyway, it's Slowbro. Slowbro is Assault Vest, so it's another one of my defensive stalwarts this week. And I really do think Future Sight has its place in this matchup. I think clicking it is not that bad of an option 90% of the time. This thing is sort of my answer to Nidoqueen. I really don't have much of another answer to Nidoqueen, so if this goes down, I'm in a lot of trouble. But being able to Regenerator off Nidoqueen does, super helpful. The problem is Nidoqueen does use this a little bit of setup fodder for entry hazards, mostly Toxic Spikes. But Scald is there to hit the Nidoqueen, to catch the Urshifu, maybe the Urshifu trying to come in to take a Future Sight hit or something like that, burn those. I don't have a way to hit Vaporeon on this set, but Future Sight should do decent damage. And that thing can't just sit in front of me forever because Future Sight's eventually going to be coming down. And Future Sight plus then the switch out for the Regenerator does give me an opportunity to not make my just passive. They are at least damage opponent. And then I have the Ice Beam mostly exclusively for Salamence. That thing, I didn't have another way to hit it very hard with this set, and I decided needed that for the Salamence. Thankfully, this also doesn't touch itself. So if Ditto does come in, I can pretty freely fish for like Scald Burns, set up some Future Sights, and really not let the Ditto really can't do to me. So I'm not too stressed about Ditto coming in to me. So that was another great option for Slowbro. Was just there's no downside to it. The things that wall it don't really do anything back. Vaporeon could maybe Toxic it. But other than that, having access to Flamethrower for Magnezone, Scald for the Urshifu, the Nidoqueen, etc., Ice Beam for Salamence and Serena, and then Future Sight for everything was just a good set in my opinion. Next up is the Galarian Zapdos this week. This is going to be a fun one. I'm not totally sure if this will work, but it can. And I look, guys, I'm not memeing. I think this is legitimately a very strong set. But I was also like, yeah, let's try it. So, what are we doing this week? What is this set of Zapdos? This set of Zapdos can switch in on Urshifu. Period. That is basically what it's designed for. Urshi that locks itself into something like Wicked Blow, not U-Turn, because obviously without that, but Wicked Blow, is then going to have to switch out because Wicked Blow is a 3-hit KO with a Choice Band Zapdos set. And then I can click Bulk Up. And once I bulk up, I can then rest off of something like a Vaporeon going for toxic. You know, that's what comes in. So I bulk up once, right? Urshifu hits me with Wicked Blow. I bulk up. Vaporeon comes in. I Thunderous Kick. Vaporeon goes to -1. Vaporeon can Ice Beam, can whatever. I live it, no matter what. And unless Vaporeon's like Specs or something crazy like that. And then I rest and get back to full. Vaporeon Toxics me, whatever. I rest. I get back to full. I eat my Chesto Berry. And then Acrobatics goes ballistic against this team. I had Agility in that slot with leftovers instead of the Chesto Berry, and then Dual Wing Beat as my flying type move. But I decided that Resto Chesto is going to be a little bit more reliable because it does allow me to handle something that does go for a surprise status move. The one thing to obviously watch out for here is something like the Ditto, but the Ditto doesn't get the Acrobatics boost from having no item, and I do. And so, and I, you know, don't really mind switching something in because I have no attack investment. So I can go into something like Slowbro on a Ditto version of this. And Bulk Up also makes me have more bulk, and I have a lot of bulk to begin with. So it's not the end of the world to stay in on the Ditto if he does try to use that to catch me or something. Acrobatics gave me a little bit more survivability than Dual Wing Beat, just because I do less damage from a Ditto with a Scarf coming back to me than I'm dishing out to go, you know, having used my Chesto Berry. And now an Acrobatics back to that Ditto. Not to mention, the thing about Ditto that you want to pay attention to is Ditto's always going to have 252 HP, but it only has base 48 HP. So anything that has more than base 48 HP is going to have more HP than Ditto. So when you're doing your calcs against a Ditto, always make sure you are calcing your Pokemon with whatever EVs you have, 252 in HP, but a base stat of 48 instead of their normal base stat total. And that will give you a more accurate calc to what Ditto is. So this is 252 HP and 212 defense. So Ditto would have 212 defense, and it would have the defensive stat of this, but it will not have the HP stat. And that is something you need to pay attention to facing Ditto. And I have done a multitude of calcs, not necessarily as many this week as I have in past matchups, where I figured out what role I need to kill myself at base 48 HP that would not kill me with my normal base. And the more EVs you put into HP, the less useful Ditto becomes in a given matchup. And this is good whether he brings Ditto or not. So I really felt like this was the right mon to set up with and the right way to set it up. And lastly, we do have the Sylveon, of course. I've hinted at it a couple of times here. And it is going to be Hyper Voice, Mystical Fire, Quick Attack, Baton Pass. Quick Attack there for things like the Urshi and Salamence that are getting out of hand. And Baton Pass is there for predictions for him switching into things like the Arcanine, or the Nidoqueen, or the Magnezone, just scouting out like what his switch into Sylveon is if I do bring this thing in on like a Wicked Blow from the Urshi or locked into close combat or something. This thing is going to be able to handle that quite well, and he's going to have to make a bunch of predictions with Urshi, which is why I sort of expect it's going to be U-turning a lot, which is fine. I don't really mind U-turn. This resists U-turn. Zapdos still resists U-turn. So I do have options to go into even on U-turn from the Urshifu. But obviously, Wicked Blow is nice because it locks him in, keeps him there against. Hyper Voice is good for a subset of Urshifu, whereas Quick Attack is good for a subset of Urshifu that is chipped down. And it does about 50%. It does substantial amount to Urshifu, and I will take that, and we'll see what happens. But otherwise, this thing hits everything other than Nidoqueen and Magnezone with Hyper Voice, and neither of those appreciate switching into a Mystical Fire. Magnezone's weak. Nidoqueen doesn't like special attack drop. So I think this team has the best chance that I could present to winning this match. This does not matter for me in terms of my own space or seeding. Or, I mean, I'm sure it matters for. I'm not going to make playoffs, but I'm not going to let my opponent make playoffs freely. So here's the team that I think presents the best chance for the game. If the game chooses opponent beats me, that's fair play, and he deserves to make playoffs after that. If I gave it up right from the start, never really gave my opponent a run for his money, then that's on me, and he didn't earn it, just got it. And I don't think that's fair. So make him earn it. Let's see what happens. Hopefully you guys are excited for that. It will be the final upload of Sword and Shield, like Galar Dex content on my channel before the Gen 4 remakes. Of course, if the Gen 4 remakes end up being not the games people play in for whatever reason, then I'll probably come back to Galar Dex that I'm having fun with. I'm sure there will be introductions of cons and stuff that would potentially go in home and come into the field, but the idea being this is the last game of this meta I will be uploading, but not the last battle I will be conducting. If you don't know, or if you don't watch, on the Twitch channel, Twitch Battle League, links in the description below, the TBL is in its late stages at this point. At the time of upload, we'll probably be doing week 10 matches, and that would be a super fun thing to come and watch. I'm currently fighting for a playoff spot there. I have not clinched. I have not been eliminated. I'm in a playoff spot right now, but it's very, very close. So if you want to come support me there, then go check out the Twitch Battle League. But I am not uploading those battles. I have not uploaded TBL battles in many years. I'll continue to do that because Twitch. It's a league that I run, though, so if you want to check that out, do so. Anyway, thank you all so much for watching. I will see you guys all back here with that battle tomorrow. Final battle of T for me, the final battle of Gen 4 remakes. Thank you all so much for watching. Take care, everybody.